Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at revenge stories. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. When I was 3, my grandparents passed away. They set up a savings account in my name. The account was meant to be accessed by me when I was 21. At that point, it contained just over $300,000. My grandparents left me a letter saying they would like me to share the money fairly with any other Smith-Jones children, meaning my full siblings. Dad's a Smith, Mum's a Jones. By fairly, they meant that they wanted me to assess the situation and judge for myself what was fair. I never had full siblings, but I have 2 half-brothers, Mac and Joe Smith, who are dad and stepmom's kids. Due to the specific wording my grandparents used, I legally never had to give Mac or Joe any money. However, I see Mac and Joe as my brothers, and as the money came from our grandparents, I felt that the fairest thing would be to assign each of us $100,000. So we all got an equal size lump sum, and I figured that when Mac, the youngest, turned 21 and took his $100,000, we could split any remaining money. When I turned 21, Dad suggested I buy a house with my $100K. I found a place I loved, but it was $130K and I couldn't get a mortgage, so Dad said I should borrow $30K from the account. I did, figuring I could pay it back when my brothers turned 21, and I have been repaying it. The account should be at $208K right now, but due to me withdrawing and then repaying the money, it's at $195K, so I still owe $13K. Joe turned 21 recently and I was giving him his $100K. Joe noticed that there was less in the account than there should be. I explained and said I was going to put it all back before Mac, now 19, turns 21. Joe told Mac and both boys said I stole from them and owed them the full $13K back plus $3,000 of interest that they felt they would have gotten. And they wanted it all paid by this summer, which gave me less than 6 months to bring the account up to $211K. I said I'd do it, but over 2 years as planned. Wow, these entitled half-brothers though. Wow, seriously, they weren't even supposed to get the money. Like, their name was not even on the will. Like, their brother didn't even actually have to share that money. I'll be mad, Az. I'll be mad. Can you imagine being generous to your siblings and then they get mad at you because you borrowed some money but then you were paying it back anyways? I will be so mad. Like, obviously you'd want them to be grateful and to like maintain a good relationship with you, right? But no, these greedy little brothers really had to do this. Seriously, the boys then wrote up a contract to that effect. I went to sign it until I saw that it said 6 months to pay it all back. I wouldn't sign as we agreed on 2 years. They said I should figure it out as they were entitled to that money and would be seeking legal advice. Later that day, I got an email clearly written by them saying that they intend to sue me for the $16K plus whatever is currently in the account and additional damages and emotional distress on top of that. Emotional distress for getting money you were not even entitled to? Interesting. At this point in time, I'd given Joe about $50K of his $100K because he wanted it in installments. I responded that legally they were never entitled to any of it, and given the attitudes, I'd say they've already received an amount I deem fair, so that $50K was all they were getting. Yes, that's how you do it. That's how you tell them. I then got a barrage of texts, calls and emails yelling at me for going back on our deal. I blocked them. They then took to social media saying that I was trying to screw them out of their inheritance and rallying our extended family into harassing me over this. And it mostly worked as a lot of people messaged me. It just sucks how money ruins families, you know? It just sucks. However, I got a message from this guy called Chris Smith. Chris said he was 27 and claimed to be my half-brother. I had never met him before, but he sent me photos of him as a kid with our dad, grandparents, and me. He showed me that he also had an account with $150K in it, and a scan of a letter from our grandparents, saying this money was meant to be shared fairly among dad's illegitimate children. Chris also told me we have another half-sibling, who is 18. He'd been looking for me for a while, but only found me when Dad shared Joe's post, which had me tagged. We checked with a solicitor to make sure, and as the boys are legitimate, they aren't entitled to anything in Chris's illegitimate kid fund. And as they are my half siblings, they aren't entitled to anything in my Smith Jones kids funds either. I sent the boys a letter formally telling them to back off, stop posting about me online, and enjoy the 50k because it's all they're getting. The day they received the letter, Chris got a PM from Dad, asking if the boys can have some of Chris's fund. Chris said no and told Dad we'd met. I told Mac and Joe about Chris and our other half sibling, with Chris's permission. So it looks like my grandparents, knowing about Chris before they passed, set up 2 funds. One for the kids Dad had with my mother, who was still his wife when they passed, and one for children born out of Dad's affair, presumably to make sure no one tried to screw anyone else over out of hurt feelings. I'm getting a ton of backlash, but holding firm on my decision. The boys have realized that I won't back down on this, and it sounds like I've caused a schism at their house, as Joe has all the money and no intention of sharing, so Mac is now feeling twice as screwed. Plus, stepmom apparently did not know about the other half siblings, or that my half sister was born after she and Dad got married, and she's made Dad move into her hotel. It sounds like Dad is looking for a long-term living arrangement outside of the family house, because it looks like she's not letting him move back in. Dad is begging me to reconsider, but honestly, I'm done with all of them except Chris and my sister. Wow, so many secrets unfolded, you know? So we just found out the 2 boys are trash. The sibling giving them 100k each. Are you seriously kidding me that they were gonna get mad over it just because he borrowed a bit of money that he said he was going to repay? And the thing is, Mac didn't even turn 21 yet, so why was he getting so agitated when he wasn't even supposed to get the money yet? And Joey isn't even sharing any of the 50k that he got. So, you know, they both be selfish and greedy. Interesting. And then they found out they had other siblings and that the dad had an affair, and now the dad is out of the house. You know, wow. The domino effect though, you know, basically. And it's funny as well because the dad was the one who told him to buy a house, right? And told him to borrow 30k. And then this all unfolded. Wow, one little thing causes this whole chaos. I'm just glad that they took a stance and realized even your siblings can be selfish and greedy and try to screw you over, basically. How do you have that type of entitlement in you where you're getting 100k from your sibling but you're still gonna ask for more and be like, oh my gosh, you borrowed that much, I'm gonna charge interest on that because you owe us all the interest. You were not even supposed to get the money, but okay. Like, seriously, isn't that the reason why wills are made? To give the money to the specified people? And the only person who was specified was, you know, the guy posting this post. That's bad luck if you weren't in the will, right? I honestly just feel bad for the person posting this because it's like they try to be nice. They try to give the sibling 100k. But then the sibling just got a bit greedy and was like, no, I want more than that. This is what happens when you get greedy. So don't be greedy. Don't be greedy, okay? Appreciate what you have. Okay, the second revenge story. Imagine being in high school and finally buying the iPod of your dreams. After saving up with your allowance and the money you made around the neighborhood doing random work and lifeguarding at the local pool. Yep, that was me. And I was that douchebag 14-year-old who would make sure you knew I had one of the better iPods, one that can play video. Oh my gosh, this was back in the days. It was the latest Nano if I remember right, simpler times. But every story needs an antagonist. My sister happened to find that role many times. We are very close now, but back then it wasn't so rosy. She was a teenager as well and spent most of those years resenting me. If I had something nice, screw you for having that. I was quite protective of my precious iPod. She raised chaos when my parents refused to buy her one. Your brother saved his money. We didn't pay for it. We are not stopping you from buying one too if you save your money. That was the attitude towards any luxury that us kids wanted. Even to that time when buying a first car was on the table. We each had to buy our own. It built character and taught responsibility. That's good parenting. Well, that iPod goes missing one day at home when I knew well I had left it charging at the family computer. I left it unattended. My parents confirmed they did not touch it, and all eyes were on my sister. I'll jump ahead here, as it turned out she had indeed taken and had one of her friends temporarily store it until the heat was off of her. She knew my parents would essentially strip search her. After this unraveled, one of my buddies saw her with the iPod at school several days later. It was time for payback. She actually brought it to school, showing the evidence? Okay. Back then, I liked to think of myself as a hacker. That's right, I knew all about batch files and how to open command prompt. Don't cross me. You have no idea what I'm capable of. I love it. It doesn't take a genius, because as much as I thought I was one, I wasn't. To devise a plan here, I put a script together with the worst stuff I could muster and gave it to the Internet Explorer icon. This went onto my sister's computer, which was an old laptop which barely had enough to load MySpace at the time. My hacker abilities allowed me to log into the administrator account by booting into safe mode or something and simply replacing the iExplorer.exe main file with my science experiment. I believe I had it to where it actually opened the real Internet Explorer in parallel, so I could deny this more easily. Fast forward to that magical moment. She's home from color guard practice and is ready for an evening full of webcam photos that use every mid-2000s effect ever created. But before she can upload them, disaster. The screen resolution goes crazy and the color profile is 16 colors for some reason. Random pop-up messages every 3 seconds. And that's how kids do get a virus. The whole script plays out and she's left with a paper weight until someone can get around to sorting it. Unfortunately, the computer guy in the family took quite a while to get around to it. My dad knew that I had something to do with this, even if he didn't understand it fully. He made my sister apologize to me before I helped her with her laptop and made her buy me a new case for it, after she threw away the one I had to try and make it less identifiable. That's siblings for ya. Oh wow, these were actually like sibling revenge stories. I'm just happy that me and my brother are really, really chill people, you know? We don't really care about each other's things. Like, you get what you want, I get what I want, kind of thing. Like, we don't care, we don't get jealous of each other, we don't really care. I'm just so glad that he's a chill person, you know? So glad. Oh, thank gosh. And he must be glad that I'm a chill sister too, because I know some sisters can be a bit crazy, okay? I think it's because we're both really introverted. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!